Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Erica. Today I'm going to show you how I created this makeup look, starting off by priming my face with the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Luminizing Primer. This primer is really good for normal to dry skin. It has a really nice glow to the skin and leaves a tacky base for foundation. Then to smooth over any extra pores, I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Blur Stick right on my nose area. This is just the area that I have the most pores, and I'm going to press that product in with my fingertips. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Super Stay Maybelline 24-Hour Wear Foundation. And I'm going to go in starting off with one pump and kind of building up the coverage. And I like to apply this first, or any foundation, first with my fingertips and kind of just melt that product into the skin. It really warms up the foundation. And then I'll go in after with a damp beauty sponge. This is the Morphe Beauty Sponge, and I'm going to just press the rest of that into my face. This foundation is medium to full coverage, and it has a satin finish, not so much of a drying matte finish. So if you have normal to dry skin, it'd still be suitable for you. If you have oily, and it would work for you as well. And then I'm just going to blend the rest of that out. And for concealer today, I'll be using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I'm using this underneath my eyes, on my eyelids, and I really love this concealer right now. I used to love the Tarte Shape Tape, but it's a little bit too drying for me. This is more of a soft matte, not a full matte, and it still has that very lightweight feel like the Shape Tape, and it is very full coverage. A little bit of this goes a long way. I'm gonna apply that on my eyelids as well, just to act as a base to my eyeshadow, and then just blend that out with my damp beauty sponge from Morphe. This is about a shade lighter than my foundation. I wanted it to really be bright underneath the eye and in the center of the face. So I went in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. This is about 2 shades lighter than my complexion, so this will give a nice highlight. Didn't add much of this, just a very light layer, only for highlighting purposes, not so much for concealing, because the soft matte from NARS gives a lot of coverage. But it's just not a light enough shade to do highlighting. And when I do a really dramatic eye look, I like to have a very highlighted look. It just enhances the contour and kind of brings everything together. Then to set my face, I'll be using the Too Faced Sweet Peach Powder. I'll be taking that on my damp beauty sponge from Morphe, and I'm going to slightly press that underneath my eye. Make sure to blend out any creases underneath your eye before you go and set your powder, because you don't want to set creases. You want to make sure to have a smooth base when you set your foundation. And I'm just gonna set the rest of my face using that same technique. I'm not so much baking, but I am using the sponge to kind of melt that powder right into the face. This powder is super lightweight, so you barely feel it on your skin, and it gives a really nice airbrush effect. Now I'm just going in and buffing away any extra powder in case I put too much with a buffing brush. Then I'm just taking off the foundation from my lips because I hate how that looks, but this actually looks even crazier, but it's cool. Just roll with it. Then to bronze my face, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Stay Matte Bronzer in the shade Sunlit. You guys know I love this bronzer. I can't quit it. And I'm just going to be putting that on the outer perimeters of my face, starting at the hollows of my cheeks, along my forehead, taking it down to my jawline, and just slightly building up the intensity of the bronzer, because it's a pretty sheer bronzer. It's not extremely pigmented, which I do like. So this is the difference between bronze and not bronze. So you don't always have to contour your face. You can use your bronzer to bring dimension back to your face when you're using a full coverage foundation and concealer, because you don't want to look very flat. You don't have to be detailed at contouring. I kind of just bronze up the outer perimeters of my face. And for this part, I'm just going to be taking an eyeshadow brush and contouring my nose. I'm just taking it from the tip of my brow to the tip of my nose on each side, connecting at the bottom, and also contouring the center of my Cupid's bow and underneath my bottom lip. Then going in and buffing that out with a buffing brush. I never use a brush this big, guys, but my brush that I usually buff out is about 3 times smaller, but I just left it in the other room and I couldn't find it at the moment. For blush, I'll be using the MAC blush in the shade Melba, which is a matte finish, and it has a little bit of peach and a little bit of pink. It's right in between. It's more of a neutral, so it's gonna be perfect for this eye look we're creating today. And I'm gonna take that on the apples of my cheeks and blend it back into my bronzer. For highlight, I'll be using the Anastasia and amrezy highlight collab. I love this highlight. It just makes the skin look so healthy. It's not powdery in person. It gives more of a wet look to the skin. And I'll be applying this to the high points of my face, along my cheek, all the way up to my brow, and then a little bit above my brow bone. I'll be taking some of this down the center of my face, on my chin, on the bridge of my nose. I usually put it on my Cupid's bow, but I don't know what happened. I totally forgot, which is so weird. But usually on my Cupid's bow, and that kind of just highlights the center of my face and all the places where the sun would normally hit. And I'm gonna be buffing that out with this buffing brush to make sure that it's nice and seamless and not too overpowering. Moving on to eyeshadow, I'll be using the Jacklyn Hill Morphe eyeshadow palette. And for our transition shade, I'm gonna be taking this warm tone orangey shade right here, and that's gonna go in our crease. And I'm gonna be using a Morphe M2 blending brush. I'm sorry, E2 from their Elite line. I believe it's the E2. If not, I'll link it down below. But I'm gonna be focusing this right in the crease on the inner and outer corner, just wrapping that around the eye. And I'm just building up the intensity of this shade, as it wasn't too intense, but I did set my eyelid with some translucent powder. So that just tends to kind of make the eyeshadows not so intense when you don't have a tacky base. For a second shade, I'll be using that brown tone shade. I'm gonna be using the MAC 217 blending brush, and I'm gonna take that right in the crease, a little bit below the first shade that we already placed. Got a little fallout there, but I just wiped it away. My face is still, I haven't set my face, so I can do that without it kind of creating a mess. But my face is pretty matte right now, even though it looks really glowy. I have not set it. So for my third shade, I'm gonna be taking this cranberry shade right in the center, and I'm gonna be applying that on the outer corner first, focusing the most product there. Still trying to keep it underneath the first two shades that we placed, and blending that inward towards the crease. Putting a little bit on the lid, even though we're gonna just put a shimmer over that. And I'm gonna take this deeper cranberry shade, and we're gonna focus that on the outer corner, same area that we did the first shade, and we're just gonna kind of bring that all along the lid so that the shimmer shade can have a nice base to really pop on top of. Still using my MAC 217 brush, by the way. This is my favorite blending brush. And going back and forth to diffuse the color with the Morphe Elite E2 brush. We're gonna take this shimmer shade right here with my finger. I love applying shimmer shades with my finger because I feel like it's more intense. You can also use a brush and wet your brush with some setting spray or Fix Plus. And we're just gonna apply that right on the lid. And I did do my lower lash line with the same 4 transition colors that I did on top, and I was just smoothing over the edge there to kind of mend them together. Taking this lighter shimmer shade right in the center just to give it a little bit more of a pop, and blending that outward and inward. We're gonna take some white eyeliner on the waterline, and I'm gonna be using this Pure Cosmetics highlight shade. We'll have it linked down below. I'm not sure what it's called. Then for my favorite part is lashes. These are the Bold Face lashes in Go Big or Go Home. My favorite lash right now. They're very dramatic, but still wispy enough so that you can kind of see all the work you've done on your eyeshadow underneath. And I'm just applying the lashes here. They're super easy to apply, even though they're very dramatic, because they have a very thin lash band. Then I'm gonna take the Bad Girl Bang mascara by Benefit and just kind of push my natural lashes into the false ones, and also do my lower lash line as well. And for lipstick, I'll be using the MAC Soar Lip Pencil, which was a little bit too much of like a mauve tone. I kind of wish I went in with Oak, but I hate taking off lipstick after I put on. So I just put on this Tarte lipstick. I will have the shade listed down below, from their Rainforest of the Sea collection. I really love this formula. It's nice and creamy, not too hydrating where it's not gonna last a long time. And that's it. That's the completed look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I also added my beauty marks back to my face, and I glued a rhinestone onto my Cupid's bow, which I do all the time. It's from Micheals, by the way. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and see you in my next video.